The Calvert County, Maryland Commissioners' Reports is a headline news podcast provided in part by the Communications and Media Relations Division. Commissioners' Reports is a summary of the agenda and outcomes of regular Calvert County Board of County Commissioners meetings, as well as related public information and events. Hello, and welcome to Commissioners' Reports. I'm your host, Kevin G. Schmidt. In this week's Calvert County Board of County Commissioners meeting, Proclamation, National Clergy Month. Calvert County is home to multiple faith-based communities that support the quality of life in our county. Faith-based communities provide educational opportunities, support those struggling with food insecurity, assist the homeless, offer ministries to families and children, respond to community crises, and provide employment training. The BOCC proclaimed that the month of October be recognized as National Clergy Appreciation Month. Meeting, Department of Planning and Zoning, Consolidated Transportation Program Tour Work Session. Every fall, the Secretary of the Maryland Department of Transportation, MDOT, and the heads of MDOT's 5 business units and 1 authority, including the State Highway Administration, Maryland Transit Administration, Motor Vehicle Administration, Maryland Aviation Administration, Maryland Port Administration, and Maryland Transportation Authority, meet with each of Maryland's 23 counties and Baltimore City. This meeting features a message from the Secretary, provides highlights from the current draft Consolidated Transportation Plan, CTP, and provides local elected officials and citizens the opportunity to comment and ask questions. The MDOT's draft capital program is then finalized and submitted with the governor's budget to the General Assembly in January. Multimodal transportation revenues and operations continue to recover from the social and economic challenges surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. In developing the CTP and establishing funding levels, MDOT must consider state and local economic growth, fluctuations in transportation revenue, and allocations of various funding sources. In March 2022, U.S. Senators Ben Cardin and Chris Van Hollen worked to allocate direct federal investments for local projects across the Southern Maryland region. Within the fiscal year 2022 omnibus funding legislation, $1 million was secured to support the project design for the widening of MD4 and the Thomas Johnson Bridge replacement. The FY23 CTP draft allocates an additional $1 million to the Thomas Johnson Bridge replacement study. In addition, Calvert County is to receive funding for resurfacing and road rehabilitation projects at various locations throughout the county. Safety and spot improvement funding is to be awarded to Calvert to improve multiple intersections at Howling Point Road, MD 231, plus funding for sidewalk upgrades for Bayside Road, MD 261, for the safe routes to schools via the Transportation Alternatives Program. The draft includes funding for various replacement and maintenance equipment via the Systems Preservation's Minor Projects Program. Phase 4 of the MD24 widening project in Prince Frederick remains on hold. During discussion, Commissioners requested expanding Calvert's CTP scope to include synchronizing Highway 24 traffic lights in Dunkirk, improving state and local government communications during planned road work, improvements to Highway 258 and 260 in southern Anne Arundel County, receiving Calvert's full highway user fees, and an aversion to tar and chip roadway maintenance practices. In consent, Department of Community Resources, Calvert Library, DHCD Broadband Accessibility Project grant related to financial support for construction costs to provide aerial fiber optic broadband accessibility to the new Twin Beaches Library location. DHCD has committed to fund this demonstration project. Funding is not to exceed $120,000 and will be distributed on a reimbursement basis for actual eligible project costs, as outlined in the grant application form. Department of Community Resources, Emergency Shelter Purchase Agreement to fund acquisition and renovation costs to develop an emergency crisis shelter and homeless day program at 85 Main Street in Prince Frederick. All consent items were adopted as presented. Work session. Office of the County Attorney, Enhancing Transparency. The BOCC has expressed its wishes to enhance transparency on numerous occasions. It has been suggested that adoption of local policies and procedures to implement the Public Information Act is an available means to educate the public on local government operations and available resources without unduly burdening the county taxpayers. Work has been ongoing in the creation of a new Chapter 96 of the Calvert County Code that would outline roles and responsibilities of the parties to a request for public records. The purpose of the work session was to review staff's presentation and to receive the board's direction. After discussion, the BOCC recommended staff commence with public outreach to provide comment on the draft policy. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of County Commissioners will be held November 1st, 2022 at 10 a.m. And other Calvert County local news. The BOCC and Calvert County Department of Economic Development wish to acknowledge and promote National Veterans Small Business Week, October 31st through November 4th, 2022 in Calvert County. After soliciting response from veteran business owners in Calvert County, Calvert broadcast staff has produced 3 video spotlights premiering next week, starring Langford and Everard Johnson of Brothers Johnson Septic Service, Dave Vollmer of Reliable Marine and JF Marine, and Al Kincaid, Adam Kincaid, and Brian Bauer of Valor Construction and nonprofit Operation Raise the Roof in celebration of National Veterans Small Business Appreciation Week in Calvert County. As the weather cools down and the leaves begin to fall, the Linda L. Kelly Animal Shelter in Prince Frederick is providing even more reasons to get cozy with a new furry, feathered, or scaly friend by offering reduced adoption fees now through November 23, 2022. Regular adoption qualifications and procedures still apply. Adoption fees cover services that include age-appropriate vaccinations, spay or neuter, microchipping, heartworm testing for dogs, and feline leukemia virus and feline immunodeficiency virus testing for cats. Adoption fees are reduced by 50% until November 23rd. Early voting for the 2022 Maryland gubernatorial election runs Thursday, October 27th through Thursday, November 3rd. Early voting will open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, including Saturday and Sunday, at the following locations: Community Resources Building, located at 30 Duke Street in Prince Frederick; Southern Community Center at 20 Appeal Lane in Lusby; Fairview Vote Center, behind the Calvert Library Fairview Branch at 8120 Southern Maryland Boulevard in Owings. Residents may vote at any early voting center and are encouraged to check the online wait time dashboard and other election information at www.calvertcountymd.gov/vote. That concludes our broadcast. The Calvert County, Maryland Commissioners Reports is a headline news podcast. Stay current with other news in Calvert County by following and liking the Calvert County government's Facebook page at facebook.com/CalvertCountyMD, on Instagram at Calvert Broadcast, on YouTube, youtube.com/CalvertCountyGov, and our official website, www.calvertcountymd.gov. Thank you.